This video is not for whales and dolphins. It's for you, because you are just like me. Average Luck Gamer here, and today I'm going to tell you who you should be prioritizing over the next few character banners. With Ellen's banner coming to a close, you've likely already decided if you're getting Ellen before the end of her banner. Zhu Yuan is coming in the second half, and it's time to start looking forward to the characters coming in 1.1. So in total we have 4 new agents, 3 S ranks and 1 A rank. We have Jane Doe, Qingyi, Zhu Yuan, and Seth. Now you're not going to miss out on Seth, as he'll be the A rank, so you could just do a few pulls on whichever side of the banner he's on, which is rumored to be the second half currently. But that leaves us free to play or low spend players in a bit of a conundrum. Sure, if you get lucky, you could get all 3 of the S ranks, but that's not how we do things here. Average luck dictates that you will lose at least one of those 50-50s, and in my case, probably all of them. So with that in mind, and considering what will be available to us as free to play or low spend players, we have to make the call. So, Zhu Yuan, Qingyi, or Jane Doe. So, first things first, a bit of economic context. What is going to be available to free-to-play players? Honestly, it's tough to say. Hoyo just dropped an event on us and extended the free encrypted tapes, the premium pulls, into 2 weeks for all their new players. So there is a chance that they continue to add more freebies, and even when playing the game casually without dropping any real money, we could get lucky and get all 3. But I think that's a huge ask. If we're unlucky, you guarantee an S rank within 90 pulls, but that's only a 50% chance of the agent on banner. So if we lose and we go to a potential 180 pulls for agent, for 2 agents that's 360 pulls, for 3 agents that's 540 pulls, and it's super unlikely that you need that many, of course. But if you want to make sure you get who you want, you should start planning so that you can ensure that you get that character. So without proper planning, you may be put in a position you can't recover from without being forced to top up. For example, if your polychrome is completely dried up after getting Ellen, could you even afford to get Zhu Yuan right now before these next 2 characters and 1.1 releases? And don't worry, we'll touch on Zhu's value again later in the vid. I said her value. So, fellow average gamers that don't want to spend money, who do we choose? Well, Qingyi is coming first, and she's an electric stun agent, which sounds familiar, and rumors are that Ambi could be on her banner too, which I initially thought to be a strange choice until I thought about putting the 2 of them together. Not like that, which sounds crazy, but hear me out. When enemies are stunned, you deal more damage, so I imagine that your enemies are stunned all the gosh darn time. Now you'll be missing out on a debuff or a buff from your support, but your enemies will be stunned all the goddamn time. It sounds like a bit of a meme team, but I'd certainly be curious as to how it worked. To add on that she'd likely be an upgrade over Ambi as a straight swap, so Electro Stun Agent for Electro Stun Agent, S rank for an A rank, she'd be expected to perform better. And for all you fellow Zhu Yuan enjoyers out there, if you've been planning to put together a Zhu Yuan team with Ambi and Nicole, super free to play friendly, swapping Qingyi in there could be an easy upgrade. Plus you'd get the girls back together. But on the other hand, we do already have the free Electric Stun Agent in Ambi, and yes, free unit will be power crept, of course, but I actually think Hoyo might have shot themselves in the foot running Qingyi so close to the start of the game, as it feels like a large portion of the player base are pretty happy with Ambi right now, and adorable character design might not be enough to actually save her. Moving on, Jane Doe is a physical anomaly agent, which also sounds a little familiar, but at least Piper isn't a completely free unit. You will have to have pulled a little in order to get yourself a Piper. Again, we'd be safe to assume that she'd be better at fulfilling the physical anomaly role than Piper, being the S rank to the A rank, but no one can really confirm that definitively for now. Leaks could be subject to change, she isn't out yet, and it might be that she works differently and leans more into dealing more raw damage and applies the physical assault slower than Piper's spin to win style gameplay. To build on that, similar to the Ambi sitch with Qingyi, we already have Piper and her playstyle is pretty fun, and there's a bunch of other physical agents in the game already. On the other hand, Jane's design and animations are super sick, and as she's coming in the second half of 1.1, any Qingyi skippers might have a fair amount of bank to blow to try and get her. Lastly then, in terms of Zhu Yuan, I think looking ahead to 1.1, it really draws me back to her potential future value. Even just on the most fundamental level, there is only 1 ether agent, and they are a support unit, Nicole. So Zhu gives access to an element in a role that didn't exist before her release, whereas Qingyi and Jane Doe look to be upgrades on existing agents, Ambi and Piper. But Ambi and Piper do already fill those roles for electric stun and physical anomaly roles, and yes, it may make building building a team of a particular faction easier, as well as them being stronger agents overall, but I think that the agents in 1.1 are looking to be harder sells in terms of investment. In terms of what I'll be doing, well, losing 50/50s probably, but my earlier decision to save on Ellen's banner after losing the 50/50 so that I can guarantee Zhu Yuan seems to be bearing fruit, because that means I can get Zhu and probably one of either Qingyi or Jane Doe. But honestly, considering that these new characters just have the same element and agent type as existing agent, and with that in mind, shock moment, I would actually think that given what we currently know about the upcoming agents, if we were to include Ellen, then I would say she's the second best pick out of the 4 opening agents in the game. I'd be putting her after Zhu Yuan, unless you got Lacune, the wolf guy, then she's maybe actually the top pick. If you think about it, it's genius for the 2 first limited agents to be DPS characters where there are no DPS characters for their elements. However, I can't help but feel that the tail on Zenless Zone Zero's income would have been better if they maintained interest in their game by spreading their more hyped up units out by a tad, but I guess by putting the 2 exciting DPS units together, Hoyo forces players to pay out to secure them both, which is the problem we've had in 1.0. But I guess that's not what we're talking about right now, and it's probably too late to get Ellen now if you don't already have the polys. Ellen will be back eventually and you can get her then, if that makes sense for your account, but for right now, looking towards the end of 1.0 and into 1.1, I think prioritizing Zhu is the smart play for future account value. And as Jane Doe is on the second half of the banner, we'll get to see leaks and then more concrete information on the 1.2 characters while we can still pull for her. So if you're not interested in Qingyi, then you can just hold fire for a moment, get info on 1.2, we get it, see how much polychrome you have, and then make your decision on whether or not to pull for Jane Doe. Personally, I think Jane's design is great and I'll likely pull for her after Zhu Yuan, but if I'm dealing with low polys at that point, I may hold on till closer to the end of her banner so we can get all of the confirmed news for 1.2. But of course, as always, you should pull who you like. If you want a character and you've saved for it, don't let my discussion about account value and free-to-play friendliness sway you. You do you, pal. Plus, we're early enough in the game's life cycle that we can kind of make anything work. No one's really reached like the true end game points yet. If you also want to consider which agent you most wouldn't mind losing a 50/50 to, or if you're getting close to picking your agent after 300 pulls, then check out the video on screen now. Remember to like and subscribe for better than average luck on your next pulls, and let me know in the comments below who you're planning to pull for out of Zhu, Jane, and Qingyi. Bye bye bye.